in DNA harvesting in the ancient world, and it's recorded not just by theologians, but actually some of the best secular researchers into UFO are coming across the same phenomenon, harvesting.
Now, L.A. has written a trilogy called the Nephilim Trilogy, and you've written a book called Alien Interviews. If you kind of synthesize all that, Tom just said that you kind of pioneered study in this field. We're really bringing Genesis 6 into the modern era, right?
I would certainly, concur with that. Well, what's interesting about that passage in Daniel is it uses the word cleave. They will not cleave. Their seed will not, mingle with men. They will not cleave. And that word cleave is the same word that we get in Genesis in regard to marriage. And what's interesting, and this takes a minute to set up, what we see in the so-called alien abduction scenario, we see, and this is just a thumbnail sketch of it, the women are taken, they're against their will, they're floated through walls, which gets into some sort of another type of manipulating matter with physics in ways that we don't know. They're taken aboard a ship, they're impregnated somehow. They find themselves 2 to 3 months later, they realize that they're pregnant. They're re-abducted. The child, the fetus, is then taken from them. So what we see here is a similarity that harkens back to Genesis, where the fallen angels, and I believe that's what we're looking at here. When we say alien / fallen angel, that in my opinion is what we're looking at. And the idea that in Genesis 6 there was marriage, they took whoever they wanted, but they were wives. The word is cleave. There was marriage. Today that doesn't exist. They take the women. There is no marriage ceremony or anything like that. They impregnate them. There's a breeding program. And the breeding program today, in my opinion, is similar to that of Genesis, except they're trying to produce, not giants, they're trying to produce a human being that will look like us, but will be completely demonically enhanced.
Well, the Lord said that the fondest desire of a demon was to be able to incarnate itself into human flesh. And we have several episodes in the New Testament where the Lord casts demons out of people. And essentially, he tells his disciples that the fondest desire of a demon is to be able to incarnate into flesh. So this ties in exactly to what you're saying. In other words, if they can't use humans, they can hybridize another form of flesh and incarnate themselves into that.
And we need to differentiate between fallen angels and Nephilim or demons.
Okay.
In my opinion, fallen angels are fallen angels. They're part of the host